I mentioned that Doug Stanton was a catalyst for us doing this, and I'd like to bring Doug up to the stage at this time to say a few words to us. So, Doug, if you wouldn't mind, we'd really appreciate it. Doug Stanton, ladies and gentlemen.
I was really only just the catalyst when Di Baraboo and Mike Brand and Bert came to town here to keep this building open. And the lesson today is that amazing things are happening here because Wharton Center and MSU have made a real stand in this community for the arts. To hear that there's a student here from Mansalona and Kalkaska and I think, 4 others from West and Central here is an amazing testament. This is the biggest audience I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I think in the 5 years that Bert and company and Minda have been doing this. So thank you. I just want to say that as a young person growing up here, your presence in this room is really important to these young playwrights. This is a big, big day for them to have real actors and playwrights and teachers come and pay attention to them. So come to the Opera House, keep sending your scripts in, don't give up, and we'll see you next year, which will be the 6th year. So thank you for being here.
I'm Hannah Ellery, and my play is called Bygone Days.
Yeah, so that's what I told him.
Honestly, any of these.
What, you don't believe me? Come on, you know.
All right.
Okay, settle down. So, I guess we're just gonna go do this.
Today, we'll be learning something new. A new family of equations. Do you all remember what that is? Who can tell me? Roger, how about you?
Yeah, a family of equations. It's a group of functions with the same distinct shape and general equation.
Good memory. That is correct. Today, we'll be learning specifically about the square root function. Any guesses as to what that equation might be? Tiffany?
The square root of x. That's easy.
Yes, it is. But can you tell me what the graph of the square root of x will look like?
Like 2 linear lines from the origin.
Not quite. Paul, what do you think? Or Zach, how about you?
I don't know.
I'm sure you have some. How can we improve on Tiffany's idea? Try looking at the shape.
Are the lines curved?
Very good. I knew you would get it. What about you, Roger? What do you think?
Yeah, sure, I think it's right.
It's really close. But how can we improve? Think about the negatives now.
Wait, you can't take a square root of a negative number, so there'd be no left side of the graph, right?
That's right. Excellent work, all of you. I'm impressed with how quickly you grasped this. I am going to be passing out some worksheets for practice on square root functions, as well as some review of last week. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. I remember the exact date I got this degree. May 19th, 2001, on a rainy Saturday. It smelled like spring, and I stood on stage. I gave the valedictorian speech to everyone. Hundreds of faces, all looking up to me. I'll never forget it. Astrophysics was my major, and I was top of my class. I remember my best friend in college. She was so talented, so unique. She was studying to be a doctor. She was going to be a cardiopulmonary surgeon. I asked her out once. It went well for a while. I left her.
Hello, George, I'm home.
Where were you?
It's fine, I was just held up in class.
For half an hour, really?
It's fine.
I wish that you would have called.
It's fine, George. We were having the most fascinating discussion about the heart.
I could have married her if only she had made me feel more confident. In that way, she was just like everyone else.
Mr. Morgan.
Yes, Roger.
Yeah, I have a question about problem 2.
Questions? All of the questions of the universe were right at my fingertips. I was on the event horizon. I could have reached a point where everything was visible. My work would have unlocked dark energy, the secrets of entropy. I could have ensured the survival of humanity. I could have taken that internship at NASA. It was such a good offer. I remember I wanted security. That's what I thought I wanted. I wanted a little more stability in my life. I didn't want to lose the things I cared about. I didn't want to get hurt. I could have found the meaning of life. I could have found something to show people, a way to teach them something new about the world, to open their eyes, to open her eyes for one moment. Sarah, where were you? I told you we had to see the astrophysics demonstration.
A friend of mine invited me to a private gathering of medical students on the 3rd floor. He said we'd be discussing revisions of Grey's Anatomy, and I thought it would be fun.
But you knew. I thought you knew you were supposed to stay with me. How am I going to get this internship if we can't present a united front? Don't just walk away. You were supposed to stand with me. Don't be like everyone else. You were supposed to be different.
Mr. Morgan, excuse me? I have a question.
Yes, Tiffany.
I don't really get what this means.
Well, let me see. You really should know that. I've known just what I was going to do ever since high school. I had it all mapped out. I was going to get my diploma, go to college, finish grad school. I was going to have a 4.0, and I did it all. I did it all even when everyone told me I was going to fail. I did it all, but sometime around when I turned 24, sometime around when I broke up with her, sometime around when I just got so tired of it all of the risk and the work and the effort, sometime around then, it all fell apart. I was going to go to MIT and get my PhD. I was going to be on the cover of Time magazine within 5 years, holding up that miniature particle accelerator. I was going to stabilize the Higgs boson. You can't imagine all of the good I was going to do for humanity. All of the fame I was going to have. I was going to have the girl of my dreams, the job of my dreams, the house of my dreams, and now I'm stuck alone with all of these. Sarah, I've been meaning to ask you, where are you going?
I have a symposium for graduate students in New York. I only just found out. I'm so excited, and I can't wait to leave.
You didn't tell me you had a trip.
George.
No, Sarah, I'm done.
George, what is that?
Nothing, Sarah. It's nothing. Get out of my house if you're so determined to leave.
What?
You heard me. Get out!
Mr. Morgan, I thought I understood this, but this last question is pretty hard. I just don't understand the inverse. Could you help?
Figure it out, Zach. I'm not your nanny.
And it's not like...
Stupid brats. They could have had it all. They will never get to where I am, to my level. They just don't care enough. Look at them, slacking off, not even bothering to finish their work. Don't they understand that math is the stepping stone to the universe? Didn't anyone ever tell them? Stupid brats! They have their whole lives in front of them, and what do they do with them? waste them. They treat those precious years like trash. How do they expect to go anywhere? Don't they understand how important this is? How hard I worked for it? This is what I'm most proud of. This is my blood and sweat and tears on paper. And where will they be if they can't have it because they just aren't good enough? Useless, lazy children, pointless!
Mr. Morgan?
What happened? Finally realized you don't know how to answer a question and he's not good enough for that piece of paper?
What did you say to me, Peterson?
Wait, who?
You can't speak to me that way, Peterson.
Peterson?
I may be an undergrad, but someday I'll be the best there is. I don't care if you got the funding for your research. I don't care. Someday I'll show you, then it'll be different.
Who the hell is he talking to? Is this a joke?
Sarah, you came back. I didn't mean what I said, Sarah. I love you. I love you. I'm so sorry for what I did. I didn't mean any of it. Please, just take me back. Please. I promise. Everything will be okay. I'll do something great just like I always said. Just give me a second chance. Please. Sarah! They were right. She was right. I'm a failure. I'm a failure. No Nobel Prize. No noble life to live. My life is worthless. I'm worthless. What have I done? Wasted my life teaching idiot school children when I could have been great. Where did I go wrong?
Mr. Morgan?
Please leave.
But Mr. Morgan, I still don't understand this question.
Fine. Let me take a look. Yeah. This one is tricky. I'm impressed with your work so far. It's calling for the inverse function to be reflected. And I think you've almost got it. You just made an error here in your addition. Does that help?
Yeah, it does. I can definitely do it now. Thank you, Mr. Morgan. I'll see you tomorrow.
Goodbye, Zach.
My play is Coping, and I am Avery Kostrzewa.
I want to put my butt print in the snow in Antarctica. It's something I want to do before I die. It's ridiculous, I know, but it'll make a great story. drop trowel in the middle of the tundra, leave a print of my glorious butt in the snow, and get the hell out of there.
Wow. James is dead. I know that you know this, and yet all you can think about is your ass.
Well, I don't know. It's definitely not my only thought. I tend to have other thoughts. This just happened to be the best one at the moment.
What do you want, Nate?
Nothing in particular. You just looked lonely.
Maybe that's because I want to be alone. Because that is how normal people grieve. There's even a 7-stage process to it, and all the scientific research behind it.
Stage 6 to remove the mile-long stick from your ass?
No. Actually, stage 6 is reconstructing your life and working through your problems. I'm not actually sure that any of the stages necessarily involve changing one's personality that isn't directly related to the person who is, it doesn't even matter at this point.
Hey, Emma. It was just a joke. Don't overwork yourself, all right?
I wasn't planning on it. Thanks for the tip, though.
If you're gonna be bitter, then I'll leave.
Leaving was an option, then by all means.
I don't think you really want me to do that.
No, I'm pretty sure I do. I don't particularly like big changes, but I'm pretty good at handling these things on my own. Also, I don't specifically like arrogant people who bother me when I clearly stated that I prefer to be alone.
That's why you need me around, because it doesn't look like anybody else is coming for you. Wait. No, come back. I told James, against my better judgment, that I'd try to get to know you. I didn't mean to upset you.
You knew him pretty well, right? Isn't it strange how happy he was? I mean, even the most bitter people can be happy, but James was just genuinely nice, and he seemed like he really enjoyed everything. I don't understand why someone like that would want to kill himself.
I get it. Known him since we were kids.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that.
No, it's all right. James. Ever since we were kids, he was always happy or smiling about something. He used to get himself into trouble just for a laugh. When we got older, he got smarter about what he did. He was always as smart as he was funny. Still, he was more than that. He was just as stressed out about what to do with his life as everybody else. He lived like those emotions didn't get to him. No amount of eulogies can ever convey that. Nothing that happens in that room with a coffin will ever do him justice.
I always wanted to go to the top of the Eiffel Tower. That's just something I want to do before I die.
Wow, that sounds pretty boring.
Absolutely not. It's supposed to be breathtaking.
It doesn't make half as good a story as mine will.
Well, and are you planning on just leaving your butt print there, or are you actually going to do anything else? Because this seems like a waste of time and money just to freeze your ass off. Honestly, how dumb can you be not to think these kinds of things through?
You seem rather concerned with me and my thought process for someone who thinks I'm dumb. You just need to relax a little and appreciate the humor behind it.
I am relaxed.
Clearly.
How can you sit there without a care in the world talking about your future like it's probable?
What makes you say it isn't probable?
Because if someone like James doesn't get the chance for a future, there's no hope for us. How many people do you think showed up for him today? There was a lot more than that one room could hold.
Not suddenly guarantees him a future.
All I'm saying is James was a likable guy with a lot of connections. He could have gotten anything that he wanted.
What if he wanted more than that? I think he did. He used to talk about making futures for ourselves. If we didn't know what they'd be.
Maybe you didn't know him as well as you thought you did.
You're just a ray of sunshine, aren't you? I was his friend. I could have done more to help, but all I did was walk away.
You can't blame yourself for someone else's mistakes.
No, but I can't blame myself for letting James be alone. He didn't deserve that.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but, there's really nothing you can do about it now.
Is that really how you think? You're ready to move on. I knew you were a psycho with your 7 steps to not giving a damn, but this is low even for you.
It's not psychotic. It helps if you have a goal to achieve.
Can you just stop? Please, I tried. Damn it! James, I will never have half the patience that you had for her. And you, all you do is push people away and make them resent you. You only talk about your perfect little world that you live in, but you're alone in there. You make everyone around you feel like just to validate yourself.
All I have heard from you is how I'm mean and bitter. You think I'm bad? Look at yourself, standing here screaming about nothing, about how much you hate me.
Go home. Or just go anywhere that isn't here. Seems like you understand solitude a lot better than most people can, so leave.
Why would I want to go home? 3 days ago, my parents had to look me in the eye and tell me that my friend died. I can't just go home and tell them that everything was fine and lie about me being okay. At this point, life doesn't even go downhill anymore, it just kind of plateaus. It's my fault for letting it get this bad. I can remember the last conversation I had with James. It was the same one we had every day. He asked me what I planned to do after high school. He was always interested in my future. And I never bothered to ask him about his. I gave the same answer I gave every time. Go to college, get a job, have a family. How did I not notice that he didn't have a future? But you said you had one together, right? It's my fault, isn't it? Walking out of here just proves that he's gone. I'm too scared to leave. James was everything I had. I don't want the last time I see him to be rushed or passed by.
It hasn't really hit me yet. But it will. Like a freight train.
A freight train, like guilt?
Yeah, like guilt. I can have guilt till the rest of my life. You're right, though. In a way, it's good to have a plan. You shouldn't have to go through it alone.
I left him alone. Dying alone is the worst way you can die. But he wasn't really alone, right? He had you. Why does it feel like he was? I don't want to die like that. No one should ever die like that! That's what I've set myself up for, though, isn't it? I had some someone and I let them go.
Sometimes it's just easier to be selfish about these things. To think everything's about you.
Can I be selfish for 5 more minutes?
Five more minutes with you. We can manage that.